yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. On the pavement, I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. No pain for their disease. Rage is like a weed. My head has been racing for the last 16 to 17 hours. I've been trying to go over in my mind what I want to say, how I want to say it, how I want to word things. I guess I'll start with this. If you are easily offended, if you are easily triggered, if profanity bothers you, if I make you cringe, if my verbiage makes your skin crawl, or it disgusts you in any way, get the fuck out of the chat. Get out of the chat. Do not watch the stream. Because in a matter of moments, I am going to open up a completely different side of me that has not been revealed to the public in a long, long time. I've kept a certain side of DJ Storms hidden away because I wanted to take things towards more of an analytical perspective on the show, especially considering that this year has undoubtedly been the most successful year for the brand in the near 7-year history that I've been doing this. But today is not the time for any of that bullshit. Today is not the time for professionalism. Today is not the time for analytical prowess. Today is not the time for any of that. If you are easily offended, leave the stream. Leave the chat. Do not watch the stream. Come back when it's over. If anybody, I do not give a flying fuck. I do not give a shit. I don't. I do not give a shit who you are, what you've done for me, what your relation is to me. I do not care if you're a fan. I do not care if you're a friend. I do not care who you are or what you've done. If you are in support of what we saw last night on SmackDown, I'm not even doing my fucking intro. I'm not even doing my intro. I ain't doing the fucking, it's Saturday, you know what that means. I'm not doing the whole mannerism shtick. I'm not bringing out the comb. I'm not going over the sponsorships or how I make people's lives better. Now's not the time for that shit. I am fucking pissed off. I am pissed off. All I see is red. And to be quite honest with you, I don't even know what I'm going to say or do next. When I am like this, I don't get like this often. I do not get like this often. But everyone knows that when the camera's on, when I'm in this seat, when I'm in front of a microphone, you already know the kind of person that I am. But this is going to be on a different playing field. I do not give a fuck what your relation is to me. I don't care what you've done for me. I don't care if you're a fan, a friend. I do not care. If you are in support of what we saw last night to close out SmackDown in Birmingham, Alabama, as a wrestling fan, I hate you. I fucking hate you. With every last fiber of my being, I hate you. Because you are actively ruining professional wrestling for the people that actually have passion for the business. You are ruining pro wrestling for people that want the best possible television product, that invest their time week in and week out because they've loved it ever since that they were young. They've loved everything that goes into pro wrestling. They love the storytelling, the characters, the people that have gone out there week in and week out and busted their ass to make sure that we leave satisfied, that we turn off the TV and go to bed happy, that when we go to the arenas, we get our money's worth. You are actively ruining my professional wrestling industry because of your fucking retardation supporting the bullshit that we saw last night. I don't even know if my mic's having trouble or not, but I am absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt. I am beyond aggravated at this rate. Cody Rhodes came out on SmackDown last night to address his Royal Rumble victory and to make his decision as to which champion he wants to fight at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns came out first with the Bloodline, with the Wise Man, with No Yeet, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa, who, by the way, Solo Sikoa, he has completely fallen off the rails. He has absolutely no heat around him at all. Cody Rhodes came out after Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns came out, and they had Roman Reigns go out there and berate Seth Rollins. They had Roman Reigns go out there and take a huge steaming dump all over Seth Rollins. Man, what a way to make your current day talent look good. Called him a secondary champion. Said that Seth Rollins is holding the Losers Championship. Says that, oh, Seth Rollins' back broke because of him carrying Raw for 3 months. Meanwhile, I've been carrying WWE for 3.5 years. He made fun of Seth Rollins' hurt knee. And then, above all else, he tries to pull the fucking money excuse out of his ass as if that is going to prove his point. He tried to pull the money excuse out of his ass. Yeah, I wrestle 10 times less than you, but I make 10 times more money than you. Why do people constantly go back to that? That shit is nothing more than a crutch. That shit is nothing more than a crutch to try and validate the most invalid statements that anyone could ever come up with. Everything regarding someone pulling the money excuse, money, finances, ratings out of their fucking ass, I swear to God, these people are everything that is wrong with society today. Roman Reigns playing the WWE elitist card. Trying to be a WWE elitist. Oh, look at WWE and their record-breaking profits. He buries Seth Rollins, calls him a secondary champion. Cody Rhodes comes out, and Cody Rhodes says, well, I disagree with what Seth Rollins said. That is not the Hollywood title. That's the title that my father held, only for it to be ripped away from him. And finishing the story is all about not just winning the title, but taking everything away from you. Roman Reigns, I am coming for you, but not at this year's WrestleMania. And as soon as he said that, I completely felt deflated. I was deflated, and a lot of people were deflated as well. He said that he's taken some counseling, and this special counsel knows you very well. Out comes Dwayne Johnson doing the Brock Lesnar jump on the stage. Birmingham, Alabama, like a bunch of fucking sheep. like a bunch of fucking retarded ass sheep jerking off to The Rock coming out there chanting, holy shit. Cody Rhodes, he embraces Dwayne Johnson, and Dwayne Johnson whispers something in his ear, and you can physically see Cody Rhodes sink. You can see where Cody Rhodes and his dreams were just crushed right before your very eyes. You go rewatch that video, and you could see the expression on Cody Rhodes' face. The man looked like he was about to cry right then and there in the middle of the ring. No wonder why he brought Pharaoh. He needs more than a fucking emotional support dog. He walks out of the ring and leaves The Rock and Roman Reigns, clearly with the camera showing the WrestleMania sign in the background, and The Rock and Roman have a face-off as the show goes off the air, as the show fades to black. Nothing has been confirmed, but, I mean, they conveniently put the WrestleMania 40 press conference right in the lower portion of the screen as the show was going off the air. They booked it for next Thursday in the early evening. What do you think's going to happen? You think that we're going to get some mega swerve? I don't know. There's a part of me that hopes so. I mean, the press conference is in Vegas. So maybe I'm ranting and raving for nothing, and maybe we could see The Rock challenge Roman Reigns at next year's WrestleMania, which, by the way, is going to be in Las Vegas, WrestleMania 41, and maybe The Rock completely pulls the rug out from under Roman Reigns. Oh, you thought you were facing me? No, you are facing Cody Rhodes. They could do that, but then I ask, what the fuck was the point of that face-off on SmackDown last night? But all the signs are pointing towards Dwayne Johnson versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. You had Cody Rhodes go out there, say that he wants to take the title from Roman and take everything from Roman. And then he says, no, not at this year's WrestleMania. And you have Dwayne Johnson go out there and pretty much toss Cody Rhodes to the side. Brandy Rhodes wants to come out on Twitter and tweet, quarterback. The guy got benched. Super Bowl season. Quarterback, my ass. Cody Rhodes just got fucked royally. I don't even know what's worse. I don't know if it's the fact that Cody Rhodes, again, for the second year in a row, is getting fucked over. The Royal Rumble winner was essentially made to look like a piece of shit. And speaking of piece of shit, my God, Dwayne Johnson, he is an absolute piece of shit for what he did. Dwayne Johnson, according to PW Insider, he pushed for this match, along with the TKO board of directors. Hell, he even hired his own creative writer to help write his road to WrestleMania. What does that remind you of? Does anyone recall what happened with Bill Goldberg and The Fiend? My God, this may be just as, if not worse, than what happened with Bill Goldberg and The Fiend. And to top it all off, there are actual individuals out there. There are people that are dumb enough to go out of their way and support this utter garbage. There are people that are going to go out there and come out in support of the bullshit that we saw last night. Actively being a part of the motherfucking problem. WWE has gone out so much. They've gone so far as to brainwash their fucking fan base. This is the crazy part about it. They brainwashed their fucking fan base into thinking that Dwayne Johnson is needed for WrestleMania. All these fucking fans, I will never understand in my motherfucking lifetime why there are fans that legitimately go out there and try and make all these fucking excuses. Oh, it's gonna sell tickets. Oh, it's gonna drive up the ratings. Oh, gotta do good in the finances, the stocks, the ratings, social media interaction. Are you fucking for real? Are you for real? If you are one of these fans, if you are an individual that does not work for a wrestling company, but yet you are using business statistics as an excuse, you are the reason why the professional wrestling community is as bad as it is. Fans has seemingly forgotten to be fans. I don't give a fuck if you're a shareholder, if you're a stockholder, if you are not involved directly in an executive or management position within the WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, stop it. Enough! I am sick and tired of these motherfucking business analysts on social media trying to act all cool and smart. You're not. You're a bunch of fucking retards. You're nothing more than a bunch of spectators. WrestleMania was going to be the most socially active, the most lucrative, the most successful WrestleMania, regardless of whether or not they had The Rock or Roman. WWE has gone so far as to brainwash the people into thinking that Roman Reigns is doing anything positive for the business himself. Here's a spoiler for you. Roman Reigns ain't doing jack shit for WWE. He's not the number one merch seller. He's not driving up the ratings. I've been saying it for months. The only reason why SmackDown is over 2 million is because they're on Fox. Watch what happens when they move to the USA Network. They're going to be in the same position that Raw is in right now. And Raw's going to be the new flagship show on Netflix. He's not driving up the ratings. He's not making the product better. He is not making anyone else around him better. He's not driving up the ticket sales. WWE has sold out pay-per-views and weekly shows without Roman Reigns. But no, Roman Reigns is a draw. Nobody's a draw. Roman Reigns is not a draw. There is no such thing as a draw in 2024 anymore. It's not about one guy. It's not about a handful of guys. It is all about the overall show. It is about the overall show, and it is about what you do to make the show in general must see. It's all about booking everyone collectively well. It's not about one guy anymore. Those days are long gone. So you need to get rid of that fucking mentality and get the word draw out of your fucking vocabulary, because it doesn't make you look smart at all. It makes you look like a dumbass every single time you say, oh, this guy's a draw, oh, that guy's a draw. Roman's not a draw. Rock's not a draw. Cena's not a draw. Kenny Omega's not a draw. Chris Jericho's not a draw. Young Bucks aren't a draw. Cody isn't a draw. Rollins isn't a draw. McIntyre isn't a draw. Becky Lynch isn't a draw. None of these individuals are draws. Because if they were, we'd be seeing 2 million, 3 million viewers on a weekly basis for the shows. Imagine what everyone in that locker room is thinking. Not just Cody, not just Rollins, not just guys like McIntyre and Gunther, because this fucks up their road to WrestleMania as well. You had the perfect opportunity to give the world title match at WrestleMania to McIntyre or crown Gunther and make him the new Supreme Overlord. Make Gunther a big-time star by having him hold both the Intercontinental title and the World Heavyweight title, which hasn't been done in God knows how long. The last time someone held 2 championships of that magnitude was back at SummerSlam 2015, coincidentally, when Seth Rollins beat John Cena and he became WWE World Heavyweight and United States Champion at the same time. McIntyre, how do you think McIntyre feels? Busting his ass week in and week out. Perhaps the most intriguing thing about Raw, and now he's shafted, and because Cody is going to go and challenge the secondary champion after Cody was made to look like a bitch and Rollins was buried. How do you think That match is going to be looked upon now by the fans. Everyone is going to be shifting over to Rock and Roman. But even then, I'm not sure if people are going to be that accepting of it. Because if you go do some research, you would have known that the video that WWE posted on their YouTube page with Rock and Roman facing off is the most disliked video in the history of WWE's YouTube channel. Fact. And the fact that Dwayne Johnson actively went out there and pitched for this match to happen. He actively went out there and pitched for this match to happen because the TKO board of directors said, oh, this is going to save WrestleMania. You actively made WrestleMania worse, you fucking idiots. This WrestleMania did not need Rock and Roman. Rock and Roman shouldn't have happened, period. If it had to happen, then it should have happened at the Elimination Chamber. So what you did is you actively wasted not one, but 2 Royal Rumble victories on Cody Rhodes, where now he's not even going to finish his story and take the title off of Roman. You actively made WrestleMania that much more predictable. You actively revamped the entire WrestleMania card for the worse. The only motherfucking positive that came out of this and the fact that they need to revamp WrestleMania, the only positive is the fact that maybe, not sure if this is a definite, but maybe, I have been pitching this for quite a while now, maybe, with the WrestleMania card being revamped and rewritten, maybe Chad Gable gets his moment at WrestleMania against Gunther and wins the Intercontinental Championship from Gunther in an epic moment, and Gable is finally crowned a singles champion after working so hard and giving so many years of his life to WWE, and they have not given him a bone whatsoever. Maybe Gable finally gets his moment at WrestleMania. But outside of that, everything regarding what took place last night, it was absolutely fucking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting in every sense of the word. Disgusting, pathetic. I don't even have enough words in the English language to describe what took place last night. I'm done. After WrestleMania, whichever show Roman's on, it's probably going to be SmackDown. I am not going to cover the show anymore. Until Roman Reigns is no longer champion, I am not going to cover the show that he is on anymore. Because guess what? It'll save me an extra 20 to 30 minutes to which I could use to either work out, to eat, to just relax and enjoy myself, spend time with family, spend time with friends. I am done. Can you imagine what everyone in that locker room is thinking? Not just McIntyre, not just Gunther, not just Rollins, not just Cody, but everybody in that company that hated the Vince McMahon regime. Everyone in that company that hated the Vince McMahon regime because he constantly shafted people. Everyone was walking on eggshells, bringing in part-timers. Can you imagine how they felt knowing that he was gone? Knowing that they don't have to worry about this perverted freak that has an obsession with part-timers. They don't have to worry about him ever again. And they put all their faith and trust in Triple H only for him to let this fly. And now there's rumors that The Rock is even coming for Triple H's political position. It's all a political power pull. Can you imagine what people are thinking, knowing that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, actively campaigned to insert himself into the WrestleMania main event, all for what? Money is not an excuse. Ratings is not an excuse. Finances, stocks, all this other bullshit is not an excuse. WrestleMania is already packed for both nights. And WWE would have had just as a successful of a WrestleMania without The Rock there. Everyone in that locker room, I'm talking to you, Drew McIntyre, Andrew Galloway. I'm talking to you, Seth Rollins, Kobe Lopez. I'm talking to you, Kazuchika Okada. I am talking to you, Mercedes Moné, Mercedes Vernado, whatever the fuck you guys want to call yourselves, I'm talking to everyone in the WWE locker room like those individuals. After what took place last night, after everything that you guys have given to the industry and that company, everything that you guys have done to showcase to you and to everyone in that company and all the fans around the world that you are worthy of being in top spots. How is it that you could sit there and be okay with staying in that company? Why would you want to stay in that company? Why would you want to go back to that company if you were there before? Why would you even contemplate about giving that company a try to begin with? Now is the time where we should all be united. We should all be united against the WWE. We should all be united against the horrid decisions that WWE has made. And we should all put our effort and support into other promotions that have no affiliation with WWE. AEW, TNA, New Japan, whatever. We should all focus on those companies, and we should leave WWE in the dust, because it's clear as day that no matter what regime is running the company, that company may never, ever change. There will always be someone with political power that is going to use their pull to try and gain the upper hand for themselves. How does it feel knowing that you have two individuals in Roman Reigns and The Rock, two selfish bastards that could not give a single shit about anyone but themselves? They get the WrestleMania main event. And Triple H, he is to blame too. I blame everyone. I blame Vince. Not even Vince. He's not even there anymore. I blame Roman Reigns, The Rock, Triple H, and the entire TKO board of directors for this. It was a combined effort. I am not going to cover SmackDown anymore after WrestleMania. Not until Roman Reigns loses the championship. I'm done. And yeah, I'll continue to watch because I got to make myself aware. I got to make myself aware because I got to come on here and I got to do what no one else in the fucking community will do. I got to come out here and speak objectively. I got to come on here and speak the motherfucking facts because I don't preach opinions. Ain't nothing I say is an opinion. Everything I say is a stone cold objective fact. Because that's what I do. That's what I prided myself on. That's what I built this fucking brand on. I am absolutely disgusted. And guess what? Everyone in the community, they're going to know exactly who I fucking am. Everyone's going to know who I am, and everyone is going to flock to me. A big audience I have for a Saturday as I'm back in my normal time slot. And people are going to watch and sit there and watch me sit behind this mic and sit behind this camera and speak the motherfucking facts about all the bullshit that is going on. They're going to watch me speak the motherfucking facts about this steaming pile of pig shit that we saw last night. And you know what? WWE TV this week wasn't even that bad. WWE TV this week was not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. The WWE, and this is something that everyone needs to realize, and if you have not realized it by now, then you are everything that is wrong with the community and society, and once again, I will repeat, I fucking hate you. You do not deserve to be involved in the wrestling community. You do not deserve to talk about pro wrestling. You do not even deserve to be involved in the same sentence as me. You do not deserve to be in the same room as me. You do not deserve to breathe the same air that I breathe. Fuck Dwayne Johnson. Fuck Roman Reigns. Fuck Triple H. And fuck World Wrestling Entertainment for doing what they did last night. The damage that this does in the long term. Some people don't even realize it. The damage that this does in the long term. And shame on anyone that supports this shit. I don't give a fuck who has more viewers. I don't give a fuck who has better listeners, who has more likes, more watch hours. I don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody, and I mean ain't nobody, can do what I do at the fucking level that I do, bar no one. Welcome to the greatest motherfucking show on earth. I am your host. I am the manipulator of mayhem. I am the catalyst of charisma. I am the analyst of anarchy, the personification of perfection, the history maker, the game changer, the dream crusher, Mr. Controversy himself, and the operator of the best damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle known to mankind. I am the one and only DJ motherfucking Storms. Dwayne Johnson should be ashamed of himself. Absolutely disgusting, pathetic, selfish act last night. WrestleMania never needed Dwayne Johnson. They never needed a match between him and Roman Reigns, when Roman Reigns right now is doing more harm for the company than he is good. And the longer that Roman Reigns holds the championship, the worse that WWE TV becomes. And Cody Rhodes was made to look like a complete fucking bitch on SmackDown. He should be number one priority over everyone towards getting a match for the World Championship, and he just steps aside for The Rock. Everyone in that locker room has every single right to be disgusted with what happened. And at this rate, Cody Rhodes, I really do hope that Cody Rhodes walks, because no one is going to give a shit about his story after what we saw. I don't even want to continue with the stream. I've only been going for what? Not even 35 minutes. I have a whole ass show to discuss. A whole ass show to discuss with all these news and rumors, 4 weekly shows to go over, and I don't even want to fucking do it. I don't even want to fucking do it. But guess what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I got something that no one else has. No one has the level of passion that I have. Absolutely fucking nobody. You already know what question I'll be asking at the end of the stream, and you already know what the answer is. We'll address that a little bit later. 18 people. I'm sure we'll probably get more. 18 people. I'm sure we'll probably get more. We're live. We are live on 4 different platforms across 7 different accounts. This is the first Lightning Flash update for the month of February 2024. You already know who I am. I'm a wrestling analytical god. And this is why you're all here. Sarah, I don't blame you. Sarah, I do not blame you. And you know what? If I didn't have this brand, maybe I wouldn't be watching WWE either. Let's continue on with the news, rumors, and reports. Jordan Grace. According to PW Insider, Jordan Grace was reached out to by WWE. They reached out to TNA about Jordan Grace being in the Rumble. One source actually believed that it was a Paul Levesque idea. The deal came together really quickly as a way for WWE to surprise everyone in an outside-the-box idea, although it hasn't been said if there are any definitive future plans. To be quite honest with you, after what we saw last night, I really do hope that there are no future plans. I do hope that there are no future plans because I don't understand why TNA would even want to work with WWE after the disgusting act that we saw last night. WWE does not play well with others because WWE can never allow anyone to have their shine. It's always what they want to do. I'm glad that Jordynne Grace was in the Royal Rumble, but to be quite honest with you, I hope that we do not have any more future partnerships, at least not until things really change. And to be quite honest with you, even after Roman Reigns loses the championship, I still don't believe that things will change. Jade Cargill. Dave Meltzer and Bryan Alvarez discussed Jade Cargill's performance in the Royal Rumble during a recent episode of Wrestling Observer Radio. She reportedly had an issue remembering things that were planned to take place during her matches. Alvarez stated that she needs to get on the road and start working more regular matches to help her get the feel again. I completely understand that. And you know what? She did look a little bit lost after she had her spot with Nia Jax. Jade Cargill may have the look, but when it comes down to it all, if you are not going to go out there and you're not going to wrestle like a main event player, then you should not be out there with the main event level stars. So Jade Cargill, she's going to have to get on the road again, and she's really going to have to start training consistently, start getting the feel for WWE once again, because Jade Cargill, she has not wrestled a match in God knows how long. I'm not even counting the Royal Rumble. She hasn't wrestled a match since September, where she put over Chris Statlander, and that was pretty much it. She went away, and she signed with the WWE. So Jade Cargill, I'm not sure what they're going to have her do, but clearly she is not ready. She is not ready, and she really needs to start getting the feel for pro wrestling once again. She has glimpses of greatness here and there, but she is clearly not ready for the big time. I'll tell you someone who is ready for the big time, though, Mercedes Moné. According to PW Insider has a lot of validity. Mercedes Moné will be working in pro wrestling once again by the month of March, but not for the WWE. She is planning on visiting Japan, although that doesn't mean that she will be wrestling in Japan. When asked about AEW, PW Insider said that they couldn't confirm. When asked about TNA, they were specifically told no. Clearly, Mercedes Moné is not going to go to TNA, although she would do a very good job helping gain more eyeballs on TNA, even though they do not have a major network deal. But Mercedes Moné is not going to TNA. The destination was always AEW. And it's quite simple as to why. It's very, very simple why Mercedes Moné is going to AEW. Mercedes Moné will be back in pro wrestling, wrestling for a company not for WWE. Why? Plain and simple. Why does she need to go back? Why now? You take a look at the women's division right now. The women's division is just starting to pick up steam again. The women's division, for the most part, in WWE is booked horribly. But you see what Tony Khan's doing with AEW's women's division. Now, the women's division over there, it's not where it needs to be. I'm not saying that AEW is the best at what they do and they're putting on the greatest shows ever, but you see the talent in that women's division. The women's division has slowly started to morph into a great pool of talent. With Deonna Purrazzo there, Toni Storm, Athena, Shida, Baker, Thunder Rosa, Jamie Hayter's going to come back soon. Why would Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, go back to WWE when there is so much more for her to do outside of the WWE? A revolution for women's wrestling will start in AEW because of Mercedes. Bron Breakker. He had a very, very nice performance in the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble match. According to Dave Meltzer, Bron Breakker was Brock Lesnar's replacement in the Royal Rumble. He said that Breakker definitely wasn't scheduled for the Rumble prior to the sex trafficking lawsuit that included Brock Lesnar. I have to ask why. I really do have to ask why. Why is it that it took a sex trafficking lawsuit to get Bron Breakker into the Rumble? Bron Breakker was not scheduled for the Royal Rumble until the sex trafficking lawsuit against Brock Lesnar came out. Why is it that it's so hard for WWE to go out of their way and give us something of substance with a Royal Rumble? It really does showcase to everyone that Triple H, he does not know what the fuck he's doing when it comes to a Royal Rumble. Triple H does not know how to book a Royal Rumble. Bron Breakker should have been on the list to be in the Royal Rumble from the get-go. Since Cody Rhodes declared his entry into the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble, Bron Breakker should have been right there. Bron Breakker should have been right there waiting to be called up for the Royal Rumble. The fact that it took a sex trafficking lawsuit to get him in the Rumble, that right there is pathetic. It really makes me wonder if Triple H does have the best intentions for the WWE going forward. Because Brock Lesnar in the Rumble, that would have been a complete disaster. And then, wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear this shit. They revealed what the plans were for Brock Lesnar. They revealed what the plans were for Brock Lesnar heading into WrestleMania. Obviously, we all knew that a match with Gunther seemed to be the end goal. But what was Brock Lesnar doing before then? The plans for Brock Lesnar heading into Elimination Chamber also came out. According to Post Wrestling, Brock Lesnar was set to work Dominic Mysterio in Perth, Australia. If you recall in the Rumble, Dominic Mysterio was the one who eliminated Bron Breakker. I don't even know where to begin here. Like, you want to talk about starting off the year in the worst way possible. It honestly makes me believe that maybe Ronda Rousey was correct. Maybe Vince McMahon is still running the WWE through Bruce Pritchard. Dominic Mysterio and Brock Lesnar. I mean, I don't even believe those words just came out of my mouth. I don't believe that this was even in the cards. I don't believe that this was even part of the plans. Dominic Mysterio and Brock Lesnar. That's the best that you can do. That's the best that you got. So let me get this straight. If Brock Lesnar was not a part of the sex trafficking lawsuit, he would have gotten eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, and he would have fought Dominic Mysterio in Perth, Australia. That is a 60-second match at best. And that's being generous. That's fucking being generous right there. Of all the people that you could have put up against Brock Lesnar at the Elimination Chamber, you could have put him against a Bronson Reed. You could have put him against a Karrion Kross. You could have put him in there against a Bron Breakker. You could have put him in there against the Sami Zayn. But no, let's throw in Dominic Mysterio and give him a 60-second match, even though we don't need a Brock Lesnar match on the show before Brock Lesnar inevitably gets to Gunther at WrestleMania. To be quite honest with you, I'm glad that Brock Lesnar was a part of the sex trafficking lawsuit, because him being off the television is best for business, because he adds absolutely nothing to the show. Raging Girl Gamer, I don't have any donations. I don't have any donations whatsoever. If you want to support me, I'll give you a method. What is your shirt size? You can buy a DJ Storm shirt from me. You can buy a DJ Storm shirt, and you can support this dashing little prick from the suburbs of New Jersey. Moving on here. Moving on. According to Wrestling Observer, Kevin Owens, he worked his match against Logan Paul this past weekend at the Royal Rumble with a fractured foot. Now, I'm not sure how bad it is, because Kevin Owens, he was wrestling last night on SmackDown against Austin Theory, but if that's the case, Kevin Owens is a beast. Kevin Owens is a beast. And if we're looking towards another match between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul at the Elimination Chamber, and we get ourselves potentially a no DQ match, I'm all for that because they had a damn good match at the Royal Rumble last weekend. Speaking of the Elimination Chamber, I got a report from PW Insider. There will be a women's chamber on February 24th in Perth, Australia, with the winner fighting Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. As we speak, Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch are the two front runners to fight Rhea Ripley for the women's world title. To answer your question, Raging Girl Gamer, you're going to have to Venmo me. They are $25 plus $7 for shipping. Just give me your shirt size. If I don't have it, I will put in an order for it. Right now, I got medium, large, and extra large. But as far as the report regarding Rhea Ripley and how they're going to determine her challenger, I mean, that makes the most sense. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch, I think we all expected those two to be the top two front runners to fight Rhea Ripley. And if I'm going with who is the best possible individual, I am probably going to have to go with Becky Lynch, and I'm going to explain why. According to PW Insider, the report going around for a women's chamber is it's going to be to see who fights Rhea Ripley, with Liv Morgan and Becky being the top two front runners. I'm going to have to go with Becky. And I say that because right now, as we speak, Liv Morgan, as great as she is, and I love Liv Morgan, she's a Jersey girl, I always support my Jersey girls, Liv Morgan does not speak to anyone, really, as being WrestleMania worthy. And that's not a knock on her. She's just not there. She's just not there yet. Becky Lynch feels like a WrestleMania worthy match. Becky would actually be the better match as opposed to Liv Morgan, because Becky, listen, as much as I love Liv Morgan, Becky is a better wrestler than Liv Morgan. If I was booking this, I would go with Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania, have Rhea retain, and then build towards Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the women's world title at SummerSlam in August. And then finally, Brock Lesnar, one more time. One more time, we will discuss Brock Lesnar, and then we will move on to the weekly show reviews. Brock Lesnar, according to Dave Meltzer, could very well be finished with WWE. Dave Meltzer stated, and I quote, "It appears that Brock Lesnar is not going to be around for a while. Some people think ever. When it comes to talent, I hate to say forever, because most of the time it's not the case, especially if someone can draw." Brock Lesnar can't draw. "They always seem to find a way back." Now, I'm not sure how credible Dave Meltzer is, because as we speak right now, Dave Meltzer, he's a little 50-50. He's not all that credible. I do respect him for what he's done and everything that he has contributed to wrestling analytics over the course of however many years that he's been doing it, but sometimes Dave Meltzer, he's not all there. He's not all there. Not all there. He's not very on top of things. He's a little slow. He's up there in age. Meltzer's not always accurate, but I really do hope that Brock Lesnar is gone from the WWE for good, because quite frankly, he's not needed. Dave Meltzer's reporting that Brock Lesnar is reportedly gone, or he could be gone from WWE forever. I hope this is the case. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Brock Lesnar contributes nothing. He contributes nothing. Right now, he's on one of the worst runs of his career. Ever since he came back to the WWE, back at SummerSlam 2021, I talked about this with Earl Cole on the rundown for NXT Vengeance Day on Thursday. If you missed it, go and check it out. I talked about this with Earl. There is absolutely nothing that Brock Lesnar contributes to WWE TV. He wrestles the same fucking match over and over again. He's not a draw. Nobody's a draw. He's not making the shows any more interesting than they already are. So what exactly is Brock Lesnar doing there? What exactly are you paying Brock Lesnar for? To go out there and do the same fucking 3 moves every single time? If Brock Lesnar is gone, this is a great thing for the WWE as a whole. That's all I got as far as the news, rumors, and reports, people. 17 people, man. We are fucking cooking. We are fucking cooking, ladies and gentlemen, as we are continuing on with the most successful year that we've ever had in the history of the DJ Storms brand. We are over 33,000 views in the last month. 33,000 views in the last month. We are over 500 watch hours, and we have gained almost 100 new subscribers in the last month. Absolutely unbelievable. And I'll tell you why. It's because of everything that I said. It's because everything that I do is absolutely incomparable. There is absolutely no one that can do what I do at the level that I do. That's not just a catchphrase. That is a stone cold fact. No one can speak as objectively as I can speak. And we are going to talk about the 4 weekly shows. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about SmackDown, Dynamite, and Rampage. So, Monday Night Raw, again, like I said in the beginning of the stream, during my rant, WWE TV, it was not bad. It just wasn't, it wasn't that bad this week. It was just very, very hard for me to come out here and support what we got after what happened last night. Left a very, very sour taste in my mouth. And I'm not the only one that feels that way, because there are legitimately 235,000 plus dislikes on the Roman Reigns Rock Face-Off video on YouTube. So, Pat McAfee came out, and he is going to be a regular. He's having one last run with Michael Cole. CM Punk, he kicked off the show. His right arm was in a sling and taped up. Crowd was chanting, CM Punk, CM Punk. He talked about how he came real close. He's not mad at anybody. He congratulated Cody, and he said that he earned it. He said, close don't count in this business. I've never believed in luck, but I feel as though I'm a bit unlucky. I tore my right tricep, and WrestleMania is not in the cards for me. And it bums me out. Maybe main eventing WrestleMania is just not going to happen for me, said Phil Brooks. He says, I have a friend named Chad Gilbert. He has cancer, and I sit with him during chemo, and he's never down about it. I lose more often than I win. Did you see me fight in the UFC? But I said that I would do it because it scared the crap out of me. WrestleMania scares me, but this is just a bump in the road. Best in the world is the people who help other people. I just entertain you, and you people love me. I don't focus on those that tell me I can't. You wake up and you are teachers, you are garbage men, and you keep going. WrestleMania 40 is not in the cards, but there's always next year. All of a sudden, Drew McIntyre came out. He said that I can relate to everything that you are saying. Now, I've never considered myself much of a spiritual person, but I prayed for this, and it happened. When I got into the Rumble, I targeted you, and I could not let you win the Rumble. I heard the news, and I slept like a baby. You won the battle, but I won the war. Now, I'll find a way into the world title match at WrestleMania, and I'm going to live CM Punk's dream again. Punk then said, my heart hurts more than my tricep. I'm going to go rehab, and when I come back, I'm coming right for you. Drew McIntyre then attacked Punk. Punk tried to fight back. Drew then took over, stomped on the torn tricep. Sami Zayn then came out and sent Drew McIntyre packing. Two things went through my mind Number one, I can't help but reference that promo from Jon Moxley back in August of 2022. What was it that Jon Moxley said? Fragile mind, fragile ego, weak body, weak spirit. I mean, I don't want to sit here and shit on CM Punk, but how right does Jon Moxley look? And then the second thing, it is very heartbreaking. Despite how much of an asshole CM Punk is, despite how much of an egomaniac CM Punk is, despite how much of a hypocrite CM Punk is, it is very, very heartbreaking to see him go out there and legitimately try to hold back tears. Hold back tears because he came back to WWE for one major reason, and that was to main event WrestleMania, and now he is not going to get that. He's not going to get that because of a torn tricep, of a freak accident. It's very, very sad. But Drew McIntyre, I think they made good use of Drew McIntyre because right now, Drew McIntyre, he may be the best thing on Raw right behind Gunther. Drew McIntyre and Gunther are the top two best things on Monday Night Raw. Maybe the top two best things in all of WWE right now. Drew McIntyre is doing some great shit. Now, he hasn't re-signed yet. And to be quite honest with you, after what happened last night, I kind of wish he doesn't resign. I would actually be a little disappointed if he does resign because, clear as day, they're not going to reward him. He's never going to be a world champion again. He's not going to be... He'll be lucky if he is a champion of any sort if he resigns. McIntyre is only going to be re-signed by the WWE just to keep him away from other promotions. If Drew McIntyre really wants to shake the foundation of the industry, he would leave, and then he would go and debut at Wembley. That's what I hope happens. Will it happen? That remains to be seen. DIY, they took on the Judgment Day for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. I shit on this match being booked so early. This should have been the WrestleMania match. Now, based on the ending, we could still get that. But after what happened, I think that Triple H, he realized he made a mistake by booking this match too early. And then he ended up doing the right thing, and he had the Judgment Day retain because DIY's big moment should be saved for WrestleMania 40. DIY is the best team to beat the Judgment Day for the titles, but not now. The best time to do it is at WrestleMania 40 in front of a packed crowd. That is the best place to do it. And that is when I hope that they do it. So DIY, they were in control. By the way, there were no commercials here. Crowd was actually chanting, "We want our truth," in the beginning of this match. Quite disrespectful, if I'm going to say so myself. And Tampa, Florida, WWE fans in general, WWE fans just suck. I really do hate WWE fans. So we had a backbreaker leg drop combo on Ciampa. Priest then with a forearm. Tombstone slam for a 2 count. Gargano with one final beat. We had an avalanche air raid crash by Ciampa. 1, 2, Balor kicked out. Priest then pulled Balor out of the ring. Priest then knocked out Ciampa. We had a tope suicida by Gargano on Priest. Sling blade, drop kick, coup de grace missed. Gargano with the Gargano escape on Balor. Ciampa with the Sicilian stretch on Priest. Priest slammed Ciampa into Gargano, broke up the submission. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." All 4 men traded blows. We had a Pele kick on Gargano, running knee by Ciampa, super kick by Priest. Gargano was caught on the floor, and Damian Priest delivered a flatliner to Gargano on the table. He was out. We had a tag to Balor, Razor's Edge, coup de grace, and the Judgment Day retain. Great match. Probably the best match on the show. Right outcome as well. The time for DIY is WrestleMania. It is not going to be a random episode of Monday Night Raw in front of a crowd like Tampa, who was dead other than the last 30% of that match. Outside of the last 6-7 minutes of the matchup, the crowd was dead for the majority of it. DIY will get their moment at WrestleMania. Now, I really do hope that Triple H does not sway from the plan, because DIY should beat the Judgment Day at WrestleMania. There's nobody better. Damian Priest and the rest of the Judgment Day then held the ring, and they invited R-Truth out to the ring. R-Truth then said that he relocated Damian Priest's cash to crypto, and he liquidated all of his assets. You're good to go. He says, we've been family the whole time. Finn's like the weird uncle that we got. Unpredictable, but we love him. And what more can be said about Tom and Nick? R-Truth acting like a complete dunce. JD is like the stepbrother that we don't want to admit is in the family. Priest then said, listen, Truth, you are not in the Judgment Day. You never were. But I like you. I think you're very funny. That's why I am not going to be the one to do this. The Judgment Day then destroyed R-Truth before The Miz came out to save his former awesome Truth buddy. And that was that. I'm glad that we're getting serious Judgment Day, and I really do hope we get serious Judgment Day going forward. No more of this R-Truth bullshit. Let that be the end of it. R-Truth is gone, and he should be nowhere near the Judgment Day whatsoever. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green took on Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. And by the way, people got all angry. People got all angry at me because I called out Chelsea Green for wearing a pride flag at the Royal Rumble in Tampa, Florida. Now, Chelsea Green wearing a flag that represents men that dress up in drag and try and read books to children with their dicks hanging out, wearing a flag that represents these shitty-ass public teachers with blue and green hair that try and teach 8-year-olds. They try and teach 8-year-olds that they can switch genders. Yeah, that is certainly a choice, Miss Green. Z360 and Zoe Stark wins it by pinning Chelsea Green. Goodbye, Chelsea Green, you groomer supporting bitch. Cody Rhodes came out. Adrenaline in my soul. I got cucked out by The Rock. Oh! He came out to address the crowd. He had Samantha Irving, had her say that he is the winner of the 2023 and the 2024 Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes. Out came Rollins. Rollins said, you know, Cody, I have a lot of respect for you. Tampa Bay is right. You do deserve it. I think we have developed a mutual respect for one another. Back-to-back Rumbles, that is special. Tampa, I understand. All I'm asking is for you guys to hear me out. He said that you were the guy. You were the guy. Roman Reigns is not even the guy. I'm the guy, he said. Roman Reigns is everything that WWE does not want to be. The landscape has changed. You see, Roman Reigns is not needed anymore. While Roman Reigns was out vacationing, who was in the main event? It wasn't Roman Reigns. It wasn't that title. The World Heavyweight title was being defended because people were sick and tired of Roman Reigns never defending the gold. This title is for us. We leveled the playing field. Roman isn't the god anymore. I gotta ask you, which title do you want? Do you want the Hulk Hogan title, the one for posers, or do you want the Dusty Rhodes title? Do you want the Workhorse Championship? That's what this title means. It's not about Dusty, though. This is about you. Cody was starting to get emotional. Rollins then said, think about it. I want you to know that this championship is where the workhorses come to fight. This is what they fight for. I want to know where your heart lies. And he pointed to his heart. Cody then said, I have an insane amount of respect for you, Seth. This is the last thing that I woke up thinking about, but I will think about it. And that was that. I didn't think that they were going to go with Rollins, but they did. Listen, I will say this. Rollins cut a fantastic promo. That much I will say. Rollins cut an insanely good promo. Excellent stuff with Seth Rollins. And he did make a lot of good points, but in the end, WWE did only create the World Heavyweight Championship because of the simple fact that Roman Reigns, he wasn't losing his championship. It's a secondary championship, the World Heavyweight title. WWE does not know how to book 2 world championships. And now there's even a report that Cody Rhodes is going to beat Seth Rollins, and we're going to get a title-for-title match at SummerSlam, and we're going to get a title unification because now, apparently, Triple H doesn't want 2 world champions anymore. I'm telling you, at SummerSlam, no one's going to give a shit. If we get the title unification at SummerSlam, I'm going to ask, why did you even make the World Heavyweight Championship to begin with? You're going to have the World Heavyweight Championship dead in a year and a half? So stupid. Jey Uso and Bronson Reed. This was a pretty solid match right here. I was very, very happy with what these two men produced. Bronson Reed is awesome. So Jey Uso, he was trying to keep the pace quickened. Nice tope suicida by Jey. Reed came in and he sent himself right into the post. Jey then mounted a comeback with an enziguri and a flying crossbody. We had a jumping senton by Bronson Reed for a 2. We had a super kick by Jey. Another one. Bronson Reed kicked out. Bronson Reed then pushed Jey off the top. Jey went for the Uso splash, but he missed. Bronson Reed with a Death Valley driver. Jey Uso kicked out. Big splash in the corner. Tsunami splash. Missed. Uso with a super kick and a spear. Uso went up top. Uso splash. And Jey Uso beats Bronson Reed. And I fully expect a Jey Uso versus Gunther match probably at the end of this month. I wish it would have been on the Chamber, but apparently there's an issue with Gunther's visa, and he cannot travel outside the U.S. until after WrestleMania. Andrade, he was in the back, and it was showcased that he officially signed with Monday Night Raw. Awesome. Nick Aldis then came in. Pierce was trying to rub it in Nick Aldis' face that he signed Andrade. I like it. And then Nick Aldis, he said he received a phone call, and it's Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker being on SmackDown. I think that would be a phenomenal addition to the SmackDown roster. I'm looking forward to that. Kofi Kingston and Gunther, Intercontinental Championship. This was a very, very good match. Yet another very good match for Gunther. Matter of fact, this was probably the best Kofi Kingston match that we have seen in years. I think the last Kofi Kingston match that I can honestly sit here and tell you was a banger of a match was probably the match that he had with Drew McIntyre in the Thunderdome back in May of 2021. That was the last time that we had a really, really, really good Kofi Kingston match. And this one right here, this one was no different. Gunther and Kofi Kingston, awesome stuff right here. So Gunther was in control for the majority of this match. Kofi Kingston, he was playing the come-behind babyface, a couple of tope suicidas, Trouble in Paradise by Kofi. Gunther then rolled out of the ring. Gunther was then laid across the steps, and we had a double axe handle off the barricade onto Gunther's head. We had a big leg drop Gunther kicked out. Gunther with a Boston Crab. Big clothesline. He went for another one. Kofi with the SOS. And Gunther kicked out. We had a lariat, a drop kick, and a power bomb all in one fluid motion. And Gunther retains the Intercontinental Championship. And afterwards, Imperium laid out the New Day once again. And I think we are building towards Gunther and Jey Uso for the Intercontinental Championship sooner rather than later, which is going to be awesome. Kabuki Warriors, they took on Tegan Nox and Natalya. Really a nothing match, even though this match did get some time. But at the end of the day, it was a nothing match. Kabuki Warriors win. And then next week, we're going to get a rematch with Katana Chance and Caden Carter taking on the Kabuki Warriors to see who is going to be the women's tag team champions going into WrestleMania. Bayley came out to address her Royal Rumble win. This was pretty much a nothing segment. Matter of fact, I don't even understand why they even did this segment. The only reason why this segment had anything of substance is because Nia Jax came out and she attacked Rhea Ripley, obviously setting up Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber. And once again, I have to admit, and you already know me, I speak objectively, not subjectively. I'm very fair. Nia Jax has been fairly decent ever since she came back to the WWE. I am not bothered at all. I am not bothered at all by Nia Jax. We're getting her in small doses. She had a great performance against Becky. She had a great performance in the Rumble. She's not being overexposed. They're booking her like a legitimate monster. I can't sit here and say that I mind Nia Jax. I don't. I can't even believe that I'm saying it. And trust me, after the rant that I gave, I know a lot of people are just expecting me to shit on everything WWE, but Nia Jax has not been bad. I can't sit here and complain about that. Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. This main evented Monday Night Raw. Decent match, but I mean, we've seen it over and over and over again. This is like the fourth time within the last 4 months, maybe, that we've seen this shit. I mean, we've seen it every single time. It's the same match every single time. Nothing's different. No stipulation. There's really no heat. There's no heat. And it's quite sad that we're probably going to be subjected to this match again at WrestleMania after the bullshit that took place last night on SmackDown. Because the entire WrestleMania card needs to be revamped, especially after what happened. Drew McIntyre wins. And that was pretty much that. Not a bad show. Not a bad show. It's going to be very, very hard for me to really enjoy WWE TV, especially after what's been going on. If you guys missed the rant, go out and check it. Dynamite. A lot of people have been pushing this negative stigma around Dynamite for whatever fucking reason. The rankings are officially back. I'm very happy that the rankings are back. And I do hope that they continue to utilize them going forward. The only thing that I have a problem with is the fact that the singles championship rankings are all lumped together. We need to create separate divisions for each championship. We need to create separate divisions for the world title, the international title, the TNT title, and the Continental Crown. The rankings are very important. We just need to split the singles championships up into different rankings. We should not have all of those rankings for the singles titles lumped together. It shouldn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way whatsoever. But we did get a lot of really good wrestling. I'm not really sure where the negative stigma came as far as this show, because the show was not bad. We had some good wrestling. We did have some storyline progression. We had people going out there. They're winning matches. We pretty much have matches that are going to be set up. We have matches that are going to be set up based on who's winning which match. And Revolution looks great. So what is the issue? It's the same issue that I've been preaching. It's a lack of structure. Dynamite, even though we get good wrestling, even though we have been getting some better storylines, and we do have a great card to look forward to, and next week's card looks great for Dynamite as well. The problem is there is a clear-cut lack of structure with Dynamite. We don't know what we're going to get. We don't know who's going to be on the show. We don't know who is going to wrestle, who's not going to wrestle, who's going to be involved in a segment. We don't know which storylines are going to get the opportunity to be showcased on TV. We do not know what is going down. We don't know what's going down and what's going on. That's why a soft brand split could very well work in favor of AEW and putting certain feuds on certain shows. Obviously, you got FTR and the House of Black. They are the faces of Collision. Maybe if you want to, you can put a Bullet Club Gold on Collision specifically, and they could be exclusive to Collision. I think that we really need to experiment with putting certain feuds and certain individuals on certain shows and really give both shows a sense of structure and promote certain people for certain shows, who we're going to get, what we're going to get. That is the best route to go going forward. But let's not act like it was a bad show. Please. There's never been a bad episode of AEW Dynamite. Never. There's been some lackluster ones, but this show was not a bad show. We did get some great wrestling and some great storyline progression going forward. Jon Moxley, he took on Jeff Hardy, and this was a very, very, very good match. And I've been loving what they've been doing with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy has really developed a nice string of solid matches under his belt. Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, Jon Moxley. He's been going out there and he's been working his ass off. And I got to give him credit. Jeff Hardy looks very, very good out there. Is he a little slower for his age? Yes. Is he in pain a little bit more? Yes. He still puts his body on the line and does all this crazy shit. But at the same point in time, Jeff Hardy, if he goes out there, he works his ass off, that is to be respected. And going in there against Jon Moxley and busting your ass against a fighter like Jon Moxley, that is to be respected. This was a really, really, really good contest. So Jeff Hardy with a clothesline off the apron to Moxley. The rules, by the way, they mentioned on commentary that the rules were laxed. The rules were laxed because these two are just two fucking psychotic individuals that are going to go out there and just beat the shit out of one another. They'll put themselves on the line to take their opponent out. Moxley with an X-Plex on Jeff Hardy. Jeff then with a back body drop. He tried to mount the comeback, but he got whipped into the buckle. Moxley then threw Jeff Hardy over the barricade. Moxley was then whipped over the barricade into the CMLL guys. They're bringing the CMLL luchadors over to AEW TV. So Moxley then with a right hand, coming back from commercial, Moxley then took a pen and twisted it in Jeff Hardy's ear, which looked pretty brutal. So we had a drop kick off the apron by Jeff, an atomic drop, leg drop, and an elbow drop, all at the same time. Nice fluid motion. Moxley with a pile driver for a 2. Both men on the apron. We had a twist of fate on the apron. Back in the ring, Whisper in the Wind, which looked very nice. That got a 2 count. We had a Hardiac arrest in the corner. Hardy then went up. Moxley went up too. We had a big superplex. Both men were down. Crowd was chanting AEW, AEW. Both men then traded blows. Jeff Hardy went for the twist of fate. Moxley reversed it into a cutter. Reminded me of the classic twist of fate RKO spot that Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton used to do back in the day. We had a leg trap pin by Jeff Hardy. Very close 2 count. Twist of fate into a stunner. A second one. Hardy went up. Swanton bomb missed. Rear naked choke by Moxley. Hardy tried to fight, but he faded away. Jon Moxley gets another win, and he continues to build a nice solid record for himself on AEW TV. He then went to shake Jeff Hardy's hand, but Jeff Hardy gave Moxley a big old fuck you, and it looks like we could be getting a heel Jeff Hardy. He's actually been teasing that he wants to bring Will-O-the-Wisp back to wrestling TV. I think that that would be a very nice change of pace for Jeff Hardy if he wants to bring back Will-O-the-Wisp and really experiment with it a bit. I think that you could do a decent string of feuds with Will-O-the-Wisp if you want to go that route. And Jon Moxley, I said that Jon Moxley should be a challenger for Samoa Joe in the world title. It looks like that's not going to happen. It looks like that's not going to happen, and we're going to get Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page next week, and I'm guessing it's going to go to a double countout. If that is not the case, and Jon Moxley is not challenging for the AEW World Championship, I fully expect Adam Copeland to beat Christian Cage at Revolution, and Adam Copeland is going to win the TNT Championship. If Moxley's not challenging for the world title, I would love to see a Jon Moxley and Adam Copeland feud for the TNT title after Revolution is over. Now, that would give the TNT title a really nice spotlight. And I don't think we've ever seen that before. We have never seen an Adam Copeland versus a Jon Moxley before. And if we've never seen that before, I think that that could be a very, very, very nice storyline. So Copeland versus Moxley for the TNT title after Revolution, that would really give AEW TV a sense of urgency. So I think that a lot of people would sign up for that. Afterwards, the stars of CMLL, they jumped the barricade and attacked Moxley before the locker room emptied and ran off the CMLL guys. This is what I was talking about the lack of structure. Why do we need the CMLL guys coming on in now and right in the middle of a pay-per-view build for Revolution? Why don't you just make do with what you have instead of bringing them on in? Kind of stupid. Kind of stupid to have them come on in. I understand you want to give Lucha Libre a nice showcase, but if you're building towards a pay-per-view, maybe bringing them on in is not the wisest decision. Hangman Adam Page, he took on Toa Liona. And my God, Toa Liona should be very, very proud of himself. Toa Liona, I believe Tony Khan said, or one of the announcers said, that this was Toa Liona's debut singles match in AEW. This was his debut singles match on AEW TV. I mean, if you're going up against Hangman Adam Page, you better bring your fucking A game. Boy, oh boy, did Toa Liona bring his A game. I'm going to go out and say that this was better than the first match. This was better than the first match. Toa Liona looked great in there. Toa Liona looked awesome. So, Toa Liona was actually using his quickness. It's shocking, but Toa Liona, he's pretty quick for a big guy. Liona was teetering on the apron. Page was then sent over the top rope. Liona with a flying crossbody off the apron on Hangman, and then he was pounced over the ropes was Hangman. Coming back from commercial, Page was caught in a tree of woe. Liona with a flying headbutt while Page was caught in the tree of woe. He looked great. Page was then on the apron. We had a running senton, but Page moved. Tope suicida by Adam Page. Diving crossbody for a 2. Rolling elbow connects. Super kick by Liona for a 2 count. Big lariat. Liona didn't go down. Crossbody missed. Big lariat. Liona sold the shit out of it. Turned inside out. We had a dead eye by Page, but Liona, like a beast, popped right up. Liona, like a beast, popped right up. We had a headbutt and a big lariat, but Adam Page kicked out. We then had a big running senton on the apron. Page was then on the floor. Liona went for a moonsault off the apron, but he missed. Adam Page with an Orihara moonsault. He went for the buckshot lariat, but Liona caught him with a Samoan drop. Liona was then caught in a crucifix pin, and Adam Page gets the victory just barely over Toa Liona. And Toa Leona looked awesome in his singles debut here in AEW. And Adam Page continues to prove that he can work with anybody. He can work with absolutely anybody. Young Bucks, they arrived in Louisiana, still acting like pricks. Still acting like pricks. I love it. And I think the Young Bucks are going to bring Sting and Darby to a great match at Revolution. I mean, if anyone's going to deny that, I think that you can get the fuck out of the chat as well. Commander and Wardlow. Commander and Wardlow. I'm glad that Wardlow is on TV winning matches. Wardlow seemed to be walking fine. Wardlow seemed to be walking fine after his knee scare. Not really sure what happened. It was just a case where Wardlow's knee just gave out. Nothing looked wrong. Nothing looked wrong. There were no botches. There were no fuck-ups. But unfortunately, shit happens. And to be quite honest with you, I was a little scared. But he did say that his knee was just fine and he can walk. It was scary. It was scary because it really seems like the injury bug has been plaguing professional wrestling right now. The injury bug is a real problem in pro wrestling. And some people, they were asking themselves, what's going on with the Undisputed Kingdom? Does the Undisputed Kingdom kind of feel blah? The Undisputed Kingdom is great. The Undisputed Kingdom is great. And they're doing everything right with the Undisputed Kingdom. I do not want anyone to misconstrue that. Wardlow is out there. He beat Commander clean. Commander got a little bit of offense, but ultimately Wardlow was going to be the winner. Wardlow was going to be the winner because Wardlow right now is the top priority. They're building up Wardlow and the Undisputed Kingdom as a whole. But what's going on with the Undisputed Kingdom? What is the problem? Why do they feel kind of cold? The Undisputed Kingdom is great. Do not misconstrue that. And they're doing everything right with the Undisputed Kingdom. They're having them go out there, win matches, they're building them up through wins, and they're winning clean. But the problem is, there's nobody to be the yin to their yang. It's the same issue with the Bloodline back in 2022 before Sami Zayn came around. No one was there to be the babyface that bounced off of their heel magnitude. It's the same thing with the Undisputed Kingdom. MJF was that babyface. MJF was that babyface to bounce off of the Undisputed Kingdom's heel magnitude. He's out, unfortunately, and it's because of the injury bug. No one's to blame there. People get injured. But without MJF, the Undisputed Kingdom does not really have a solid direction, even if they're doing the right thing with them. They're the right people, but they don't have the right person to bounce their heel magnitude off of. So afterwards, Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom, they were getting ready to attack Commander before Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends came out, and that was pretty much that. That was pretty much that. Tony Schiavone, he interviewed Ricky Starks, Big Bill, Darby Allin, and Sting. This was a really good sit-down interview. Starks talked about how he respects Sting, and Darby called out bullshit. He said that Sting's career is not a stepping stone for you. Starks then promised to target Sting and get his lick back because of what Sting did to him back during the pandemic era, where Sting and Darby, they beat Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Not Big Bill. They beat Ricky Starks and Brian Cage when they were a part of Team Taz. Sting then said, Ricky, you have to earn respect. He says that the big man over there, you know, the big men that I faced were killers, but I'm not sure about you, Big Bill. Darby then said that Ricky will have to point the finger of blame at himself. Ricky then begged Darby to hit him, and Sting backed him off. I thought that the intensity here was very nice. And based on what happened a little bit later in the show, it's clear as day the direction that they are going into. Kyle Fletcher and Chris Jericho, Very solid performance here by Kyle Fletcher. If you don't know, now you know. Kyle Fletcher is the fucking future. Kyle Fletcher is the future, and I think it's about time that a lot of people start putting more respect on Kyle Fletcher's name, because Kyle Fletcher is fucking awesome. So Kyle Fletcher, he took on Chris Jericho. They did not waste any time. Fletcher with a Meishinuku driver for a 2 count. We had a triangle drop kick by Jericho. Jericho looked good here against Fletcher. Fletcher then took over, 10 punches in the corner. Jericho with a Hurricane Rana off of the middle rope on Fletcher. Coming back from commercial, we had a big knee by Fletcher and a half-and-half suplex. Big kick and a sheer drop brainbuster for a 2. Jericho with an axe handle off the top. Hobbs then with a cheap shot with Jericho when he went for the lion salt. So Jericho did not connect with the lion salt. Fletcher tried for the pile driver, but Jericho locked in the walls. Fletcher ended up getting to the ropes. We had a super kick by Fletcher. Jericho kicked out. Code breaker by Jericho. Fletcher kicked out. Fletcher with a brain buster on the corner of the turnbuckle, which looked a bit nasty. It looked like Jericho got hurt for a minute, but Jericho, he was able to finish the match. He was able to get up. We had a tornado kick by Fletcher, and then he went for the tope suicida, but Jericho in midair with a Judas effect. Judas effect in midair. He sent Powerhouse Hobbs into the steps, and then he delivered a top rope flying Judas effect for the 1, 2, 3, which looked very, very nice. Kyle Fletcher, as per usual, continues to shine, and I really, really, really do hope that Kyle Fletcher continues to be showcased heavily on Dynamite, because Kyle Fletcher is a fucking beast. Kyle Fletcher is a fucking beast at what he does. What's going to happen next week? I don't necessarily know. I'm guessing we're probably going to get Sammy and Chris Jericho versus the Don Callis family. It's going to be Sammy and Jericho versus Konosuke Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs at Revolution. We had the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. They came out. They just did their usual shtick. They brought out cardboard or card blade and juice board. Really a nothing segment. Very meaningless 5 minutes. I'm sitting here like, what's the point of this? What is the point? I was waiting for something. We got nothing. We got absolutely nothing. What exactly was the point of sending the Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold out there? What was the point of sending the Bang Bang Scissor Gang out there if it wasn't going to result in anything? The one thing that I always preach is make everything mean something. With the rankings back in AEW, now wins and losses mean something, and every match means something. I'm happy about that. I'm very, very happy about that. Everything means something. But what did this segment mean? Why didn't we just get a heel turn? Why didn't we just get a heel turn for Bullet Club Gold? Why exactly didn't we set up the unification match or the trios match for both sets of titles at Revolution? Because that's ultimately what this should end in. It should end in Bullet Club Gold beating the Acclaimed and becoming the AEW World Trios Champions and the Ring of Honor World Trios Champions. That's what it should come down to. And Bullet Club Gold walks away with both sets of trios titles. That should be the end goal. I don't really understand why they just had them go out there and just do their catchphrase. Well, we see that all the fucking time. Give us some substance. Very meaningless segment. Probably the one segment that did not belong on this fucking show. Deonna Purrazzo, she took on Taya Valkyrie. Felt a bit rushed. Kind of a lame finish with the double arm stretch. I understand what they were going for, but felt rushed. Finish was I love me Deonna Purrazzo. I think Taya Valkyrie is very solid, but I don't know. It just didn't click. And I think people are just waiting for Revolution when we get Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm, because Deonna Purrazzo, as we speak right now, she is undefeated in singles competition. I believe she's 3-0. She's going to continue winning, and that's pretty much it. And next week, we're going to have Toni Storm in action with Deonna Purrazzo on commentary. They are building towards Revolution, and I do believe that these two are going to tear the house down. I think that we could see the return of Jamie Hayter. I'd say that we see the return of Jamie Hayter at Revolution after this match is over. Young Bucks. Young Bucks ran into Darby Allin. Young Bucks ran into Darby Allin, and they said that they love Darby, and they wanted to be a hot new trios team. Nick said that Darby is being unprofessional. Darby said that, listen, the tag team titles are the only thing that are on my mind right now. And after that, the only thing that I was saying to myself is, yep, Darby Allin and Sting are going to lose, and the Young Bucks are costing them the tag team titles. And I do not have an issue with that. I do not have an issue with that whatsoever. Sting doesn't need to retire in AEW undefeated, and having the Young Bucks cost Sting and Darby the tag team titles, that right there is the best route to go. That right there is the best route to go, and that right there is going to make the match at Revolution seem more important, because now Darby Allin and Sting have a reason to go out of their way to fight the Young Bucks. In hindsight, it's just the Bucks that have a reason to fight Sting and Darby. But now, if the Bucks cost Sting and Darby the tag team titles, which they should, now Sting and Darby have a reason to go out of their way to fight the Young Bucks, because they fucked him out of winning the tag team titles, and they fucked Sting out of ending his career as a champion. It's simple. Very, very simple, and I do hope they follow through. Samoa Joe, he was on commentary. He came out for his match he came out for the match with Swerve Strickland against an opponent of Hangman's choosing. Hangman, he chose Rob Van Dam, and I was very, very pleased to see RVD, because RVD is awesome. And Paige actually came up on the screen, and he said that we could also choose the match stipulation. It's a hardcore match. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So Rob Van Dam and Swerve Strickland, this was very, very fun. It was the match that I never thought that we needed, but Swerve Strickland, man, you gotta love Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland right now, he is killing it. He is absolutely killing it. RVD and Swerve, they matched up very well together. I've been loving RVD's little sporadic appearances in AEW. The one thing that Tony Khan knows how to do is he books his legends right. You see a guy like RVD. Maybe Dwayne Johnson should take advice from RVD. Look at RVD. RVD is selfless. RVD is very, very giving. He doesn't care. He will go in there. He will have a great match, and he will do the job if he needs to do the job. And that's what he did right here for Swerve Strickland. It's unbelievable. Swerve was then whipped over the barricade. RVD with a slingshot leg drop off of the apron. Crowd chanted, "You still got it." Spinning leg drop off of the apron with Swerve draped over the barricade, which looked awesome. RVD is amazing. 53 years old. 53 years old, RVD never missed a beat. So coming back from commercial, RVD with a drop kick with a chair right into Swerve's face. Swerve was then placed on the ropes. RVD went up. All of a sudden, out came Brian Cage. Hook then came out, and he attacked Brian Cage. Hook attacked Brian Cage with a chair. Obviously, I believe this is leading towards an FTW championship match, perhaps at Revolution. I think that Hook and Brian Cage, that right there would be really, 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 really good. I think that if we get a match between Hook and Brian Cage, if they want to, just let him go out there. I think that's going to be Hook's best match in AEW to date, if they just let him go. So after Hook ran off Brian Cage, Swerve came in with a wheel kick, Swerve then rolled out of the way of the Rolling Thunder and hit a flatliner for a 2 count. We had a punt kick, Van Dam, and we had a Swerve stomp off of the apron, and RVD was sitting in a chair when he was Swerve stomped. So that looked very, very nice. Back in the ring, RVD then threw a chair at Swerve Strickland's head, and Swerve Strickland went sailing off of the top through a table. RVD back in the ring. He went for the 5-star frog splash. He missed. Swerve Strickland with a house call with the chair. RVD kicked out. Both men were up top. RVD was shoved down, and Rob Van Dam gave Swerve a big old birdie. He gave Swerve the big old birdie as Swerve delivered a Swerve stomp and beat RVD 1-2-3 in a very fun match. Afterwards, Adam Page came out. He said, "Congratulations. We are at the top of the rankings, but I promise you that I will never let you become world champion." Swerve then laughed, and he says that, "I beat you twice. You're just upset that you can't beat me." Swerve was then walking away, and Adam Page said, "It's funny because you needed the Mogul Embassy in order to beat me. And the reason why you needed them is because when it comes down to it straight up, you can't lace my boots." Swerve said, "You know what? Fine. This is the last time. This is the last time. And after this, we are done. And then I am going to focus on one thing, and that is the AEW World Championship." Match is set for next week. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Match next week looks awesome. Again, not a bad show. I don't know why people are shitting all over it. It was not a bad show. It did what it needed to do. It just felt like a setup show, and obviously the lack of structure is playing into effect here. I get it, but I think we need to really focus on the bigger picture here, and if we see something good, which we got a lot of good, I think that outweighs the bad. Trust me, the lack of structure is something, and it needs to be taken care of, but I really think people need to start speaking more objectively, and we need to stop with the just overabundance of negativity, and we need to really stop with the overabundance of bad vibes, okay? I understand that there's a lot of negativity out there in the community, but you control how you perceive things. You control how you perceive things. You cannot allow others to deter that. We need to stop listening to a Jim Cornette, stop listening to Eric Bischoff, stop listening to Vince Russo, stop listening to Kevin Nash, stop listening to these fuckers. Stop listening to them. You're poisoning yourself. SmackDown. I'm not even going to bother talking about the main segment because you already know my thoughts on the main segment. We will go over the rest of the show. If you want my thoughts on what happened to close the show, I talked about that in the beginning of the stream, and it was probably one of the best rants that you will ever hear me do. Logan Paul kicked off the show. Logan Paul kicked off the show. Logan Paul kicked off the show. The crowd booed. He said that he was going to be nice, but I don't even want to be here. This place sucks. He goes, "You know what? I underestimated Kevin Owens. He looks like a pissed off donut, but he made me fight. He made me bleed. But yet, he still lost. And I'm still the champ because I'm one of the toughest people on this brittle roster. I'm unbreakable. I'm one of one, the beast from the East, the best in the West. I am your United States champion, Logan Paul." Out came Kevin Owens. He said that, "I think Birmingham seems like a great place. But you forgot one thing when you were going off of your accomplishments and you were naming all the adjectives. You forgot that you're an unbearable idiot." See, as great as being U.S. champion may be, it felt great to knock the hell out of you. Paul then acted all sarcastic. He said that the brass knuckles were a setup, and he outsmarted Kevin Owens. Owens then said, "You know what? They all know that Kevin Owens will stop at nothing to win a match, but guess what? I got caught. But great job on the referee." He goes, next time you'll realize that I don't need brass knuckles to beat your dumb ass. Paul then said, you know what? It's over, dude. You're not getting a rematch. Out came Austin Theory, and we get Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens. I'm not going to spend all this time going over Austin Theory and Kevin Owens because, again, similar to Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre, we've seen it. It was a decent match, but we've seen it over and over and over and over again. It's the same shit over and over again. How many times do we need to see the same fucking matches on weekly TV? This is why I do not advocate for a brand split. This is why the brand split in WWE needs to go away. And we need full storyline continuation across both shows. You can have certain storylines on certain shows, but we need to get rid of the brand split because it just does not work. Kevin Owens wins. Kevin Owens wins with the brass knuckles, and it seems as though we are building towards a rematch with Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. I do not have an issue with that. I do not have an issue with that whatsoever. Matter of fact, that is probably the best route to go. That is the best route to go because Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, they put on a great match at the Rumble. Give them the Elimination Chamber. Give them the chamber and just let them go. I think that would be great. So we went to the back, and it was shown in the back that Naomi and Tiffany Stratton have both signed SmackDown contracts. Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. Very, very happy about that. We had a promo for Legado del Fantasma. I'm loving the presentation of Legado del Fantasma. I think that Legado del Fantasma, if they keep up the pace with where they're going, Legado del Fantasma is going to be one of the best things on SmackDown. We had a Fatal 4-Way, number one contenders qualifying match. We had Pretty Deadly, Legado del Fantasma, British Strong Style, and the LWO. Now, the winner of this match will face the winner of the other qualifier match on Monday Night Raw. The winners of those two matches will fight each other, and then the winner of that match will fight the Judgment Day at the Elimination Chamber. And I'm going to go with the British Strong Style team. I'm going to go with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I think those two fighting the Judgment Day, that would make the Elimination Chamber better. And if that's the case, man, Elimination Chamber, I said it once, I'll say it again. It's pretty much the unofficial night 3 of WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to the Chamber. So we had a quick-paced match right out of the gate. The LWO helped launch Joaquin Wilde into orbit, which looked great. Coming back from commercial, we had a tag to Pete Dunne. We had roundhouse kicks to Elton Prince. We had an X-Plex on Del Toro and a big forearm on Joaquin Wilde. We had an assisted shoulder breaker on Dunne for a 2. Spinning fireman's carry by Tyler Bate. The airplane spin. Round and round and round we go. LWO with some suicide dives. Zelina Vega then took out La Madrina, Elektra Lopez. Back in the ring, we had a finger snap by Mr. Pete Dunne. He snapped the fingers. Like that. And then Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate with a double Tyler Driver and British Strong Style get the win. These two against the Judgment Day, I think that these two, if they want to, they could put on a match that was better than the match with DIY and the Judgment Day. So give these two to Balor and Priest at Elimination Chamber and just let them fucking cook. Elimination Chamber is looking all right. We got the Women's Chamber, Rhea and Nia. We got British Strong Style and the Judgment Day. And then potentially a mid-card chamber. Potentially a mid-card chamber for either the U.S. or the Intercontinental title. I think, you know what? I actually believe that we could potentially get Logan Paul defending the U.S. title inside the chamber. Logan Paul wants to talk about going viral, right? Logan Paul wants to go viral? That's a viral moment right there. You got plenty of people to put in the chamber. You got plenty of people to put in the chamber. You can put Logan Paul. put Kevin Owens. You could put Santos Escobar. You could put an AJ Styles. You could put a Randy Orton if you want to. Put an LA Knight in there if you want to. Put a Grayson Waller in there if you want to. Put an Austin Theory in there if you want to. Sounds like a great match to me. See what happens there. Nick Aldis, and Adam Pearce, they were out there for Bayley's Royal Rumble decision. And Io, before this, Io was actually talking to Asuka in the back. And Kairi, they all collectively agreed that Bayley was done. Not really sure where that came up, but kind of came out of nowhere. Even though it was kind of an underlying factor, it really did kind of come out of nowhere. And Bayley was actually behind the door, watching and listening to what Damage Control was talking about. So I'm thinking to myself, ooh, looks like we're going to get something here. So Bayley came out with Damage Control. Bayley said that she's almost done it all. This year's going to be different because I didn't get here on my own. I wasn't alone. I had my girls. They were there for me. The car rides, the locker room moments where I cried because I felt like it wasn't working out. Damage Control is family. Asuka then laughed. Io tried to stop her, but we all knew what was going to happen. She then talked about Rhea Ripley. Or I could find a different fight. Sometimes it's about something more personal. Sometimes the people you thought were your friends, sometimes you have to prove them wrong. So Bayley looked over and she goes, "You done laughing?" She said something in Japanese, and she said that she picked up on it from listening to you guys talk behind my back. I wanted to take Damage Control to the top, but you see nothing in me. You turned your back on me. What happened? Said Bayley. Asuka and Kairi then decked Bayley from behind. Io attacked. The crowd booed. Bayley then got a steel pipe, hit Asuka and Kairi, and we had a stare down with Bayley and Io Sky. Io then got out of dodge. Bayley then took the mic and said, "About that announcement, Io, I'll see you at WrestleMania." And the crowd popped, and Bayley has all the support backing her. Excellent, excellent, excellent choice here. I'll tell you what was going through my mind when I was watching this. The end goal here is building up Io Sky. The end goal here is building up Io Sky. But it's very, very hard for me to watch that segment. That very well done segment, by the way. Very well done, very well produced segment. It's very, very hard for me to watch that segment and hear the crowd get behind Bayley. All we need now is Bayley's classic NXT theme song. We need Bayley's classic NXT theme song going out there at WrestleMania. We need the fucking Bayley buddies. We need real, genuine babyface Bayley. We need that Bayley back. If we get that Bayley back, I am all for it. Let's get that Bayley back. It's very, very hard for me to watch the reaction that Bayley got and then sit here and not want her to win the championship. Even though I know that it's not needed, even though I know that Io Sky winning would be the better decision, and Io Sky taking that title, going on into SummerSlam, and then fighting someone else, building up a new star because Bayley doesn't need it. Even though I know that that should really be the end goal. Because I would much rather have Kairi take it off of Io. Because we haven't seen that match. We haven't seen that match in WWE yet. So if Kairi takes it off of Io, that would be a lot better, and that would really build Kairi up as a new star. But as far as the reaction, again, very, very hard for me to sit here and then not want Bayley to win the championship. It really makes me want her to win. And I guess you could say that that's a good thing. Final Testament. The Final Testament. They were set to take on Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, but a brawl broke out. The brawl broke out, and it resulted in B-Fab coming out, and now B-Fab is aligned with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. So I'm kind of glad that this match didn't happen on SmackDown. Save this match for the Elimination Chamber. Save the six-man tag for the Chamber. Do it at the Chamber and have the Final Testament win. Tiffany Stratton, she took on Michin. This was a pretty decent start for Tiffany Stratton. Pretty decent start for Tiffany Stratton. After she was buried by Becky Lynch, obviously, she has been well overdue for a main roster call-up. But I think that this was a decent start. It was a decent little start for Becky Lynch. Not Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton. I'm still thinking about when Becky buried Tiffany Stratton back in September. Decent start for Tiffany Stratton, and I expect big things for her in the future. I expect really, really big things for her in the future. Maybe we see Bayley win the championship from Io. Maybe we could see Tiffany Stratton in the women's title picture as soon as SummerSlam. I kid you not. We could see Tiffany Stratton in the women's title picture as soon as SummerSlam. That right there would be a damn good match. Bayley and Tiffany. Just throwing it out there. Tiffany Stratton wins with the prettiest moonsault ever. She didn't really get all of it, but she got just enough. Again, we don't need to talk about the main event segment. I already talked about that. If you want to go and rewatch the beginning of the stream, you can go and do that. We're going to talk about Rampage. And it was kind of tough for me to get into Rampage, especially after what happened to close out SmackDown. I was seeing red at that time. I was just super fucking pissed. I was getting ready to break every single piece of furniture in my room, but I stopped myself from doing that because I don't want to have to pay money to get new furniture. But Rampage, we did get some decent stuff on Rampage. We had Private Party and Top Flight. They had their rematch. And we got ourselves a fun little match, which resulted in Top Flight getting the win. So I'm assuming that we're going to get one more match between these two, and that is going to be the rubber match sooner rather than later. Maybe a 2 out of 3 falls. I wouldn't mind a 2 out of 3 falls match between these two teams. So Isaiah Cassidy with a springboard moonsault on Dante. We had a stunner on Darius. Private Party were in control. Crowd was hyped for him too. Crowd was getting hyped for him, going shots. I'm glad to see that Private Party is being showcased on TV. And I think that Private Party, if they want to, Private Party is the best team to take the titles off of Starks and Big Bill. That's the match I hope we see. That is the match that I hope we see at Revolution, and Private Party wins. So after that, we had a tag to Dante coming back from commercial. We had a nice crossbody off the top for a 2 count, quick-paced reversals, tornado kick by Cassidy, silly string DDT, which is actually one of my favorite tag team moves that Private Party does. We had a shooting star press by Quinn, but Darius with a double stomp to break it up. Dante was in control, and he delivered the half and half spin out slam, and Dante Martin gets the win for Top Flight as we head into one more match between these two. And I'm liking this little mini feud. I'm liking this little mini tag team feud. Keep it going. Keep it going. If they keep it going, the tag team division is going to get back to where it really needs to be. Sammy Guevara, he was interviewed, and he promised that he is coming for Powerhouse Hobbs. So I'm liking what they're doing there. Sammy didn't spend too much time away. I like the fact that they are playing up to Sammy Guevara being a dad now, and the fact that he was robbed of not only being tag team champions with Chris Jericho. It's different because he does have a kid now. So I appreciate the fact that they built that up. Ricky Starks and Big Bill. It was Ricky Starks' homecoming because he's from Louisiana. And the Dark Order, they were the opponents of Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And we actually had a nice, solid little match here. Dark Order, they're very good at what they do. And the crowd being hyped for Ricky actually made it better. The crowd being hyped for Ricky actually made it better. So, Ricky Starks and Big Bill in the Dark Order. Decent stuff here. So, crowd was hyped for Ricky. The Dark Order went right on the offense. Some nice double team action. Ricky Starks took a nasty move where he actually was power bombed onto Alex Reynolds' knees, which looked nice. From there, we had a German suplex by Silver, 2 count. Tagged to Big Bill. Reynolds tried to fight against Big Bill. We had a cannonball senton off the apron by Silver. Bill was then sent into the post. Bill hyped himself up. Nice boss man slam. We then had a tag to Ricky, tag to Silver. He had a nice body slam on Silver. A little old school. Starks then hit a spear on Evil Uno. Silver with a combo of kicks. Ricky Starks then hit the Rochambeau, and Ricky Starks gets the win. Solid stuff heading into the tag team title match next week on Dynamite in Phoenix. And it's a tornado tag team match. Should be fun. And considering it's a tornado tag team match, no doubt in my mind that the Young Bucks are costing Sting and Darby Allin as they should. Young Bucks costing Sting and Darby is the best route to go. Willow Nightingale versus Queen Aminata. Aminata is awesome. Queen Aminata is great. I'm surprised that she hasn't gotten the All Elite Wrestling graphic yet because she is a very, very solid professional wrestler. Every single person she has stepped into the ring with. Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, and now Willow Nightingale. I mean, hey, I know talent when I see it. And Queen Aminata, she's got talent. Maybe she could be something in the AEW women's division if they want to give her the opportunity. But Queen Aminata, she looked good here. She looked good here against Willow. Willow ended up winning with the Dr. Bomb, obviously. We're going to have to get Willow in there with Athena at Supercard of Honor. Let's get Willow in there with Athena at Supercard of Honor. Let's stop beating around the bush and give the title to Willow. And then we got the main event. It was 2.0, Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels. They took on Mystico, Hechicero, Volador Jr. How do you pronounce his name? Volador. There you go. Volador Jr., Hechicero, or Hechicero, and Mascara Dorada. Those 4 individuals from CMLL. So, Volador, he had a nice super kick on Daddy Magic. Mystico and Daniels then mixed it up a bit. We had a back heel trip by Daniels. The AEW guys took over. We had some elevated elbow drops by Mystico. Sydal then with a twisting plancha for a 2. Coming back from commercial, Mascara Dorada hit a Hurricane Rana. Tag to Hechicero. We had a nice step-up knee on Sydal. He's actually more of the technical wrestler. We had a springboard flying elbow. Nice roundhouse kick by Sydal. Things started to break down. We had a double drop kick on 2.0. Mystico then with a crossbody to Daddy Magic. Mascara Dorada with a Fosbury flop onto the pile. Angel's Wings were countered. And we had a rolling pin by Hechicero. And he wins the match for the CMLL guys. It was a fun match, but obviously really wasn't needed. This is building towards the matches that Brian's got with Hechicero, and then we got the rest of the CML guys fighting the Blackpool Combat Club next week, which should be fun. That was Rampage. Crowd was very, very nice. And it was pretty much it. It was just a decent little wrestling show, although I had a very hard time getting into it after the fuckery that took place on SmackDown. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that y'all have gotten the point. And I think that you guys are well educated after that stream. I think that all of you should be well educated after that stream. And I hope that you guys had a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Thank you to everyone who came out of their way to support me. And I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you to Lisa Earl. Thank you to the Final Hoss. Thank you very much to Dee Dee Sarah Habka. Thank you very much to Raging Girl Gamer. Thank you very much to Navistar Gaming. Thank you very much to Gregory Blakely. You guys are awesome. And you guys make being DJ Storms worthwhile. You already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all of the links in the description. Be ready on Monday morning. Monday morning, it is going to be the rewind for NXT Vengeance Day. Vengeance Day is tomorrow. I will be off on Monday, and early on Monday morning, I will be doing the rewind at 11 a.m. 11 a.m., people. Set your notifications for 11 a.m. We're going to continue the momentum. Keep the momentum rolling. For the year of 2024. Till next time, I am the greatest wrestling analyst on the fucking planet, DJ Storms, and this has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, you already know the drill, people. A question that everybody must answer. Who runs the IWC? Let me take a sip of my ice water. I'll tell you who runs the IWC, people. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms. Don't you ever forget it.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience.